What is going on, Cardano community? Welcome back to Dapp Central. I'm your host here, Fareed, and in today's video, I've got some updates here surrounding Cardano. Now, the first topic I want to mention is going to be a recent decrease in terms of network stake. The second update I want to mention is going to be some exciting news surrounding a brand new NFT music marketplace that has just been released by the NEWM team in collaboration with Six City. As a part of the third update here for today's video, I want to give you guys a brief update on the status of MELD and a recent issue that they've run across on the pre-prod testnet. Now, this has been acknowledged by IOG and they will be working in collaboration in order to get this resolved. Now, before we jump into today's amazing content, if it's your first time stumbling by the channel, my goal here is to provide you guys in the community with the latest news, tutorials, and reviews. I'm also the operator of the official Dapp Central Stake Pool, and if you guys want to support me on my mission to educate the broader Cardano community, then consider delegating with Stake Pool ticker DAPP. Throughout the month of April all the way through May, I'll be giving away the MELD and Gens tokens, and there's going to be 2 videos linked down below in the description if you guys are interested in participating. Jumping into the very first topic here for today's video, I want to highlight the fact that there's been a recent drop all throughout the entire network when it comes to staking on the protocol. If you guys aren't already aware, staking is going to be one of the key features that Cardano does extremely well. I highlighted last week the fact that Cardano had more than 1.2 million members currently staking in the community compared to Ethereum's 88,000. Again, that really goes to show how forward-thinking the Cardano Foundation, Emergo, and IOG really were when creating this third-generation blockchain. Now, what I want to highlight here is going to be some not too positive news. However, in the spirit of being transparent here and raising just facts, I want to highlight the fact that total Cardano ADA staked has recently dropped off over the course of the last month. As you guys can see here, this is going to be a chart from Cardano Insights breaking down the delegation per day since April of 2022 all the way through April of 2023. Taking a look at the top left-hand chart here, you guys can see that the total ADA staked on the network hovered at around 72% all throughout last year, with lows down to about 71%. However, over the course of the new year, starting at about January, we have seen a dramatic decrease with an all-time low of about 68% right now when it comes to total ADA staked. Now, I think that there's quite a few things contributing to this, which I'll be breaking down here in just a moment. Now, in the chart to the right of that, we have the average ADA delegated per wallet. So that used to be last year somewhere around 21,000, briefly hitting at about 20,000. However, over the course of the last 3 months, that has dropped off as well, hitting at about 19,000 now. Keep in mind that that is quite a bit of ADA still. If I'm not mistaken, ADA is trading for about 38 to 39 cents. So if I pull up a calculator here very quickly, let's see, that's going to be 19,000 times 0.37 or 0.38, which comes out to about $7,000. So that's the average amount currently delegated on the network, about $7,000. So it's not a small amount. However, it is continuing to drop over the course of the last few months. Now, what's also interesting is that at the bottom left-hand corner here, we can see that the total number of new wallets being created per day has been hovering pretty steadily, with a huge increase here when we saw the FTX collapse. So around the time that we saw FTX collapse, there was a lot of narratives here surrounding being your own bank or banking yourself and making sure that you had custody of your own assets, which is why we saw that huge uptick there, up to almost 10,000 wallets at one point being created per day on Cardano. Now it's kind of tapered back off since then to its average of about 2,500 new wallets per day. In closing, we have had a recent milestone where we passed up 4 million wallets being created on Cardano, which has been extremely positive. So it's not that there is a lack of new wallets or new inflow in terms of ADA coming into the ecosystem. But what I do think is contributing to this decrease in stake has been the fact that there's just been more and more ADA sitting in retired pools, as well as stake pools themselves actually moving out of the space. And so if I jump over into the second tab that I have here, this is going to be C Explorer, which is going to be a Chain Explorer platform, very similar to Cardano Scan, where you can go ahead and review transactions as well as stake pools operating and securing the Cardano network. Now, just a little bit of background here about staking, right? If you guys aren't familiar with staking, it's going to be an opportunity to secure the Cardano network while also providing towards its decentralization. So as you pick a stake pool operator, which there's more than 3,000 of now, they'll actually be more capable of minting blocks depending on how much of a stake they have within the network. As they create blocks, they receive rewards, which are then distributed amongst the delegators to that particular stake pool. And so again, shouting out the Dapp Central stake pool. If you guys want to delegate to me, then consider doing so. Thank you very much. Now, jumping back in here, it states that we now have over 15,000, almost 16,000 different accounts valued at over 51 million ADA, which are currently delegated to retired stake pools. If you don't know what a retired stake pool is, this is going to be a stake pool that is officially shut down. And as I just begin to scroll down here on this page, you're going to notice that we have quite a few of them. And so at the very top, we have some of the more active stake or stake pools with the highest active stake, I should say, given that they're all retired. And so recently saw the Genius X team retire Genius X, Genius X2, and the Genius X3 stake pools. Just between those three stake pools alone, there's more than about 3,000 delegators and more than 15 or so million ADA. We've also got the Crown stake pool with 4.6 million ADA and 413 delegators currently delegated to that pool. Following that, we've got quite a few pools here by IOG, which again are all currently retired, just spanning almost to about 5 or 6 million ADA. Now, this trend really just continues, as you guys will notice here, and I think this is a big contributor, given the fact that these accounts, while they are currently staked to a retired stake pool, will no longer be actually counted towards the network's stake. So just a reminder here for you guys to go ahead and double check who you delegated to. Make sure you're keeping an eye out on this as it does impact, again, the greater community. We always want to make sure to keep the total amount delegated to retired stake pools as low as possible. Again, given the fact that it does impact the network, and simply put, I mean, for the users here, they're losing out on potential passive income, right? I think stake pools right now generate between 3 and 4% if you have a really lucky stake pool, but that's all done passively. All you need to do is select a delegator and make sure that their margin is set correctly and that they're actively producing blocks. And if you're able to do that, you can earn up to 3 to 4% on your ADA. And so that is going to be it there for that main update. Again, really just raising the fact that we have to do better as a community when it comes to staying on top of retiring stake pools and just making sure that we are staked to pools that are contributing directly to the network and that are actually active. Now, one thing that I also want to touch on here before I switch topics is going to be regulatory scrutiny. So that is actually going to be why we saw some of the pools within the ecosystem begin to kind of close up shop. One of them was actually the Crown stake pool, which I mentioned earlier, currently has 4 million ADA delegated, but they were citing regulatory headwinds given the fact that they were within the US as to why they'd be retiring the stake pool. Prior to this announcement, this was a fully functional stake pool providing weekly blocks without any issues. So this was a profitable stake pool for the stake pool operator. However, due to the regulatory headwinds, they decided not to go ahead and keep it. We saw a very similar article being released by the Genius team, basically stating that they would not be doing any additional multi-token ISPOs moving forward, again, given regulatory headwinds. We also saw Kaizen, who's going to be a very prominent member here within the Cardano community, basically state that he's going to be moving over into the Middle East in terms of Dubai for regulation because they're super crypto friendly as opposed to running a stake pool in the United States. So I think those are going to be two of the biggest factors right now contributing to what we're seeing here when it comes to staking on Cardano. Nonetheless, I do believe that staking and crypto as a whole will be here for the long term. And so I don't have any big concerns. However, over the short term, it definitely would be nice to see some of this retired stake move over into more active stake pools. I know that was a lot there, but hopefully you guys found that to be interesting. Now, if you guys are enjoying this video so far, again, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. It really does help to get this content out to other members within the community. The next update I want to break down here as a part of today's video, now that we've got the staking updates out of the way, is going to be a major update here surrounding music. So if you guys are into music, whether it comes to being an artist or collecting albums, music, CDs, art, now you actually have a fully dedicated marketplace in order to do so. So huge shout out here to the NEWM team in collaboration with Six City and NMKR. So the new music marketplace is officially live. There's going to be 3 partners, 2 music projects, and 1 big launch. The record store, which is what it's going to be labeled by NEWM and Six City, is officially live. You can now shop unique music collections from revolutionary musicians on Cardano, powered by the one and only NMKR.io. So a really awesome trifecta that we have here. NEWM providing decentralized music and an opportunity for artists. We also have Six City, which is going to be an actual platform or artist here within the space, really supporting the grassroots movement when it comes to Cardano and music creation. And then we've got NMKR, which is going to be a studio platform providing paying services within the ecosystem. So to really see these 3 powerhouses from different parts of the ecosystem come together to make this work has been quite amazing. So without any further ado, let's break down what NEWM is, and then we're going to jump into their brand new record store. So NEWM is going to be a decentralized music platform, again, for artists building their network. They're going to be giving power back to the artist, in which they'll be letting them own their own creative content. They'll also be giving power back to the fans, given the fact that fans will be able to earn from the NFTs that they hold from musicians. And then they're also going to be giving power back to the community, where it states that NEWM connects creators and collectors through a decentralized market, enabling a community-owned and governed platform. So if you guys want to find out more about NEWM and some of their artist collaborations, you can head over to NEWM.io. I recently did have the pleasure of speaking with Ryan, who's actually going to be the CEO and head honcho here for the NEWM protocol. And so really great guy there. I think he'll be attending CNFTCon as well as Rare Evo this year, and hopefully I can get an interview with him there. So there's Ryan Jones again, the CEO and the co-founder of NEWM. Now jumping over into the actual record store. Again, you can access it by going to newm.nmkr.store. From here, you can view at a glance all of the collections here. And what I've done is I've actually accessed this platform as a collector. So if you come into the platform, you can access it either as a collector or an artist. If you decide to enter as a collector, you'll be presented with all the different collections and NFTs that you can actually purchase. If you decide to enter as an artist, however, you can actually begin to fill out a form that will allow for you to become listed directly on this platform. So make sure to check this out, whether you're an artist or a collector. Now, if I scroll back up to the top here, I want to just play you guys a very brief song, but I've got a selection here from Amber VHS, which is going to be a amazing artist here, providing some retro tunes here within the Cardano community. Amber's also done a collaboration with the NFT collection. I believe it's called Disco Solaris on Cardano. So again, really great exposure, not only to NFTs, but to the music scene as well. Now from here, you can quickly see the album cover. And then if you scroll down, you can actually see some of the available NFTs. Now I believe these are going to be different versions or variations of the track. So I'm actually going to go ahead and select one here. And from here, you can see when the actual NFT was minted. You can see the name of it. You can also go ahead and actually copy the link directly to this sale. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and report this NFT if there's any issues or problems. Now, if you own this NFT, you can actually go ahead and list it for sale directly on the platform. And then right below that, you can see, I believe, the address that currently owns the NFT and then some of the attributes associated with it. Now, if I go ahead and actually scroll through here, you'll notice that I can actually play the music, which I'm going to do here just for you guys in just a second, given the fact that I really like this particular track. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, but on top of that, if you want, you can adjust the sound here. And then they've got these 3 dots here, which will allow for you to adjust the playback speed as well as download the music. Now, keep in mind that if you download the music, you can keep it stored on your computer, but it's not the same thing as actually owning the NFT, which is going to be a non-fungible token. The NFT will actually show that you have ownership of the actual music or of that particular token. So keep that in mind. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and actually play about 30 seconds of this song here to give you guys an idea of what is currently available on the new NEWM store. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that little snippet there. Again, if you guys want to find out more about the platform, make sure to go ahead and check it out. They've got artists just like Amber VHS. They've also got artists like the Crime Fighters. And then we also actually had Nito, who's going to be a pretty well-known figure here within the ecosystem, sell out his collection. So this is going to be for the All Night soundtrack, which was just released. I believe there was 100 NFTs selling for 35 ADA, therefore bringing in around 3,500 ADA. And so again, really giving a lot of exposure to the marketplace here when it comes to collaborators, creators, and really just supporting decentralization of music, given the fact that we can now do all of this in-house without having to have these artists go through any traditional routes. Now, that is going to be it there for that particular update. Again, I'm excited to be sharing this with you guys. One thing I do want to mention here very quickly is that in terms of wallets supporting this particular kind of asset when it comes to music, Jira Wallet actually has a in-house wallet that can go ahead and actually play music. So if you guys own any of these NFTs and you want to kind of listen to them on your own or within your wallet directly, you can use the Jira Wallet, which I've got a fully dedicated video for, as well as an interview with Sean Roller, who's going to be the head member for that particular project. That is going to bring us to the update here for the NEWM record store. The very last update I want to mention is going to be surrounding MELD, and a minor issue, or maybe a major issue depending on how you look at it, that they have stumbled across when it comes to the development on the pre-prod testnet. So let me go ahead and share my screen here with you guys. And this is going to be a tweet here, quite lengthy. Let me just break this down and we're going to jump back over to see exactly how IOG has responded to what MELD has actually said. So if you guys are not already following MELD, I recommend that you go ahead and do so at MELD_DeFi on Twitter. And so as it reads here, as a part of our thorough security analysis of the lending and borrowing protocol, MELD has identified an issue with the way transaction processing is handled on Cardano and how it impacts the MELD protocol that could disrupt key parts of the MELD's platform. Now, the security of users' assets remains our highest priority, and as such, we will hold off the launch of our protocol to the mainnet until we are fully confident users' funds will not be at risk. And so two things I just want to mention here and just provide a little bit of background. So MELD is going to be a DeFi platform providing crypto to crypto and crypto to fiat loans, which is going to be a new thing that has not yet to be done within the space. So crypto to fiat, I think, is going to be one of MELD's biggest propositions. That said, the fact that they are now live on mainnet and addressing things like this, I think, is going to be key. There's been a lot of FUD surrounding MELD, given the fact that they have had some delays, which I cannot disagree with. They have had delays. However, keep in mind that this has all been done in the interest of the community. So I personally, I don't know about you guys, but I personally would rather MELD take their time and execute on their plan with no security issues or no security flaws, as opposed to them rush to get on mainnet just to satisfy the community and then actually have an attack or an issue happen after the fact, right? They would please the community early on, only to have all of that trust and community built up around them go away if they were to have some kind of hack or liquidity drain. Now, MELD currently has not given an actual launch date. So we did hear that they would be launching as a part of Q1 or Q2, somewhere around the summertime of this year, but they've never given us a hard date. So this is just saying, hey, you know, before we even talk about dates, we want to get things right. So I have to agree here with MELD, even though things are taking a long time to build, they are bringing a lot of things that have yet to be done or implemented by other teams, which I want to break down here at the end of this topic. So it continues to read, we are currently collaborating with IOG or Input Output Global on testing with the next iteration of new node software to better understand how we might jointly address this issue. Moving forward, we are also looking at a number of short and medium term solutions for our development or plans to launch our Cardano. For the time being, we will open source our smart contracts, and once there is a solution in place that sufficiently mitigates the issue, we will then make the required adjustments to our code and launch on the mainnet. So two key takeaways here. They're going to be looking for community input. So they're going to be open sourcing their smart contracts for anybody to leverage or take a look at. And they're going to be collaborating with IOG. So that's going to be huge here. And the fact that IOG has acknowledged that they are actually working with MELD. So this is not an issue specifically with the MELD protocol, but it is going to be an issue impacting how the MELD protocol will run, given the fact that, again, MELD is looking to do some cutting edge technology or some cutting edge transactions here on the actual space. So that said, there has been a little bit of speculation surrounding what the actual issue is, given the fact that MELD has not gone into full detail. So MELD recently did have a Twitter space with us in which we saw Trim Brusette as well as Plutus Plumbus and Matt Nash talk about what they've actually encountered. So again, a really good reason to go ahead and follow MELD and join their Discord to make sure to stay in tune with these Twitter spaces, as they can be providing a lot of extremely good information. Now, what was actually mentioned was that how transactions are processed and the order in which transactions are processed appears to be somewhat of a bottleneck for MELD, especially given when they want to do liquidations. If you don't understand liquidation, this is going to be the process of going ahead and actually terminating a loan when somebody's collateral to loan value goes down to a particular percent. So as we have more liquidations occur, we can have a cascading effect, which could negatively impact the entire protocol. And so in order to make sure that MELD is doing things correctly, again, they want to address whatever issues that they might be having. Now, there's been a few discussions that I've been following here surrounding fee markets. And if you guys aren't aware what a fee market is, this is going to be what we have on Ethereum, where as more people provide higher fees, you'll be able to get your transactions processed faster. And so instead of actually going through that fee market platform or through that fee market solution, I think a better solution would be to bring on more scaling solutions like we are waiting on the likes of Hydra. So again, hopefully we're going to see IOG as well as MELD come to a conclusion here, which will be good for the broader community. But I think that adding a fee market to Cardano, again, which is providing more fees in order to get your transaction processed ahead of somebody else's, will just be a temporary solution, and it may just cause more congestion. And again, it really doesn't help out the greater community, because right now everybody pays a flat fee and everything happens in the order that your transactions come in, not based off of how much additional or how much your actual fee is going to be. And so if I jump back over here into this first tab, we have a response from IOG acknowledging what MELD has found. So it states, we're working closely with the MELD team on a solution to the issue currently impacting Cardano transactions processing on the pre-prod testnet. We appreciate that MELD has brought this issue to our attention. Again, there's been so much FUD surrounding MELD, but the fact that IOG is now acknowledging this should put some of that to rest. Again, I don't disagree that MELD has been taking their time, but they want to make sure to do everything correctly. As a part of that Twitter space, again, that I recommend that you guys go ahead and check out, they talked about what they plan on bringing to the space that a lot of projects don't already do. And so one of the biggest propositions is going to be the crypto to fiat, being able to take your crypto and borrow hard cold cash against those assets. Now, right now in the Ethereum space, we have platforms like Aave, which are holding on to billions in terms of TVL, but they're only focusing on crypto to crypto. We've also got platforms on Cardano like the Liquid Protocol as well as AADA, which are also only focusing on crypto to crypto. So this is a brand new proposition that MELD is going to be offering. And again, that's why they're taking their time when they're doing all of this. They're also going to be one of the only platforms with our own in-house wallet, or the MELD app. This will be a platform that will allow for you to send, receive assets, as well as manage your NFTs. So again, two big propositions that MELD is already bringing to the platform that a lot of DeFi platforms on Cardano don't already have. They also talked about session timeouts. So for example, when you log on to Amazon and you are inactive for quite a bit, or even a bank account and you're inactive for quite a bit of time, it automatically signs you out. MELD is looking to do something very similar to that. They're also talking about wallet signatures, allowing users to dictate whether or not they want within the MELD app the ability to sign for each transaction. Right now, within some of the wallets, you don't have that ability, right? You always have to sign. And if somebody doesn't want to do that, they should have the right not to do that. They're also going to be bringing an address book and additional login methods through the use of their partnership with Web3auth.io. And then very lastly, they're looking at also bringing on partial liquidation. So right now on places like Indigo, as well as Liquid, or even AAD8. When you liquidate it, they liquidate the entire loan. MELD is looking to change that with partial liquidations here, which again has not been implemented just yet, but they are working through this process right now. And so as they're working through something like this, right, they don't want to liquidate everybody, but they only want to liquidate as much of your loan as needed as possible to get you back above water. So again, these are brand new concepts here, and I just continue to remind the community that this does take time. Big banks, big institutions, and Web 2 was not built overnight. And so I would not expect for some of the top platforms within Web 3 to also be built overnight. But that is going to bring us there again to a close for today's video, in which we talked about staking on Cardano, NEWM, and their brand new music record store, as well as MELD announcing that they are working with IOG to improve the pre-prod testnet and hopefully speed up the Cardano network as a whole. Again, keep in mind that MELD has been working closely with IOG with contributions, to the core Cardano code. And so that said, if you guys found any of today's video to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by and you want more content just like this, consider subscribing. And if you guys have any questions for me about any of the topics covered as part of today's video, then make sure to leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.